Today I'm going to be interviewing my mom, who is a Cuban immigrant, about her experiences with language in the U.S. So, for my first question, what does language mean to you?
Language to me means everything. It's a form and method of communication, so it is very important to be able to speak in a dialect and language that everyone comprehends. It's a form, the base of any relationship.
Okay. Um, did you ever feel like your native language, which is Spanish, was valued in your school or no?
I grew up in an age group from the 80s that it wasn't as recognized worldwide here in America, so it was pretty much pointed to as a bad thing. However, I came when I was 6 or 7, so I learned to embrace English and command it very well, and yet it was very difficult in my generation to try and keep my roots without formally being criticized for speaking it off topics.
And in your opinion, how does language connect to culture?
I think it's the base. We learn a language that we associate to a culture, and we try and stay with it. It's being part of the roots, as I said earlier in my former question. It's just it's an identity to the culture you come from.
Was it important for Dad and you to have Al and I speaking Spanish?
Well, we had the mindset of yes, we definitely want the kids to do that, and yet it's difficult. You throw them in an environment where television doesn't teach it. Their friends at school, speak English, and you want them to learn English as well. So you want them to command it as a second language, and it's not always easy with two working parents to ensure that that happens. While we did our best in the evenings and on weekends and with family members, it was still, I mean, television was a big challenge for the kids to command it.
How important was it for us to learn English?
That was definitely the core. We were raising two kids in America, and this is the language that we need to learn and command, and that was definitely a first priority.
And this is kind of similar, but how did you balance the two languages in our home?
We try to do that, the Spanish more socially and more as an outing and more when we were surrounded by just outside of the immediate family, so that the kids could still at least understand, not so much to speak it, but at least understand it. That was the rule here. We wanted to make sure that at least they understood it more from a second language perspective.
Thanks, Mom.